There are two kinds of people in this world: those who live on the surface and those who live within depths unseen. The ones who move effortlessly through the external world, focused on tasks, social expectations, and the rhythms of daily life. And the ones who exist somewhere beyond it all, their thoughts drifting between dreams, emotions, and distant places no one else seems to reach. If you've ever met someone whose eyes seem to hold 1,000 unspoken stories, someone who vanishes into books, music, or their own mind, disappearing from the world even when they are standing right in front of you, you may have just encountered an INFP. The introverted intuitive feeler perceiver, one of the rarest and most misunderstood personality types in the Myers-Briggs type indicator. But make no mistake, an INFP is not merely a quiet dreamer. They are a paradox, a mystery, wrapped in layers of thought and feeling. They walk among us, yet they are always a little somewhere else. What does it mean to be an INFP? Some call them romantics, idealists, visionaries, or artists. Others label them as lost, impractical, or emotionally fragile. But the truth is, they are none of these things, and all of them at once. INFPs are wanderers of the mind, constantly shifting between the real and the imagined, the possible and the impossible, the seen and the unseen. Their presence is an enigma. They can be in a crowded room and still feel alone. They can sit in complete silence, yet experience a world louder and more vivid than anyone could imagine. They live in a perpetual contradiction. They long for connection, yet retreat into solitude. They feel deeply, yet struggle to express their emotions. They crave meaning, yet often feel lost. They want to be understood, yet fear being truly seen. To the outside world, they may appear quiet, passive, or even detached, but inside, their minds are constantly painting, writing, feeling in ways others will never fully comprehend. They are not lost in thought, they are living in it. INFPs experience life as a story, and they are both the narrator and the main character. But their story isn't just about events, it's about meaning, emotion, and transformation. They don't just remember what happened, they remember how it felt, what it meant, what could have been, and what might still be. For an INFP, time is fluid. A song can transport them to a memory so vividly they feel it all over again. A single glance from someone can send them into a spiral of emotions. A random phrase can trigger an entire storyline in their head. A single moment of beauty, a sunset, a phrase in a book, a note in a song, can stay with them for years, even a lifetime. This is not just nostalgia, it's the way their mind is wired. They do not simply exist in one moment at a time. They are constantly jumping between the past, present, and future. They imagine what could be, reflect on what was, and dream about what should have been. This makes them deeply romantic, fiercely idealistic, and painfully sensitive, but also at times profoundly lonely. Because in a world driven by logic, speed, and pragmatism, who truly understands the dreamers? One of the INFP's greatest gifts is their ability to feel what others feel, sometimes before the other person even realizes it themselves. They are the ones who sense pain behind a smile, tension in a handshake, sadness in silence. But this empathy is not always a blessing. Because INFPs absorb the emotions of others so deeply, they often feel drained, overwhelmed, and burdened by emotions that are not even their own. They carry the sadness of others like it's their own burden to bear. And sometimes they lose themselves in the process. INFPs are not interested in the shallow or the temporary. They crave depth, truth, and meaning in all things. They do not just want a career, they want a calling. They do not just want friendships, they want soul connections. They do not just want love, they want transcendence. If they find it, they love forever. If they lose it, they grieve it, like a part of themselves has died. To love an INFP is to enter a world where love is not just a feeling, it is a story, a journey, a sacred bond. INFPs do not belong to this world, at least not entirely. They are writers of unwritten stories, painters of unseen landscapes, dreamers of impossible dreams. They are not weak. Their quiet nature hides an unbreakable fire. They are not lost. They are simply walking a path few understand. If you are an INFP, embrace your depth, your feelings, your way of seeing the world. It is your gift. And if you love an INFP, be patient, be kind, and never take their trust for granted. because they will love you like no one else ever will.